The night she demanded my honesty, the sky above the city looked ordinary. That was the unsettling part. Cars move along the highway in the distance. A neon sign buzzed faintly 2 blocks away. Someone in the neighboring building laughed at something playing on their television. It was a normal night, quiet, unremarkable, safe. And yet 4 to 7 light cycles away, an empire was holding its breath. Princess Eelthera stood at the edge of my rooftop, her silhouette outlined against a faint haze of urban light pollution. To anyone glancing up from the street, she would have looked like a woman in a long silver dress staring at the stars. But the stars stared back at her. They always did. Her kind carried a bioluminescent resonance that subtly interacted with stellar radiation. I didn't understand the science behind it. I only knew that when her emotions intensified, the night above us seemed to shimmer. "Do not evade the question," she said without turning around. Her voice carried that layered harmonic tone, soft but resonant, as if 2 frequencies spoke at once. "I'm not evading," I said, though we both knew I was. She turned slowly, eyes reflecting faint violet light. Within her irises, patterns shifted, like miniature galaxies in slow rotation. "You are suppressing neural indicators," she replied. "Elevated pulse, muscular tension, cortisol spike. Your physiology contradicts your words." I sighed. "You really have to stop doing that." "Stop doing what?" "Reading me like a diagnostic report." "It is not reading," she said calmly. "It is observation." She stepped closer, bare feet silent against the concrete. The air around her seemed warmer, charged. "I crossed interstellar distance for transparency," she continued. "You owe me the same." The weight of that settled between us. 3 weeks ago, she had appeared in my bedroom in a wash of silver light, asking for sanctuary. She was heir to the Virelian Dominion, an empire spanning star systems, governed by rigid laws forbidding emotional bonds with what they call pre-ascended civilizations. Us. She had been observing Earth for 6 of our years, studying language, culture, human emotion, and then she found me. She said my writings resonated with her, that my loneliness felt familiar, that my stubborn hope intrigued her. I didn't know how to respond to that kind of attention from someone who commanded fleets. Now she stood inches away from me, waiting. "Don't be a coward, human," she said softly. The word landed harder than I expected. "I'm not afraid," I said. "You are." "Of what?" She tilted her head slightly. "Of consequence." She wasn't wrong. If I told her what I really thought, what I'd been trying to bury under human deflection, there would be no stepping back into safe territory. No pretending this was cultural exchange. It would become something dangerous. Something real. "You want honesty?" I asked quietly. "Yes." "You're the most extraordinary being I've ever met." Her expression remained composed, but the faint glow along her collarbone intensified. "That is an imprecise descriptor," she said. I exhaled sharply. "Fine. You're intelligent in ways that make me feel like I'm still in kindergarten. You're brave enough to defy your empire. You're disciplined, controlled, powerful." I hesitated. "Continue." "And you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." Silence. The glow beneath her skin pulsed once, brighter. "That is a reproductive-based aesthetic assessment," she said carefully. "It's a compliment." "I am aware." "Then why do you sound like I insulted you?" "I do not feel insulted." Her voice had shifted slightly. Softer. "Then what do you feel?" She stepped closer until I could feel the warmth of her body. "Unstable," she admitted. That surprised me. "You don't seem unstable." Virelians do not experience attraction toward pre-ascended species. It is classified a contamination of evolutionary hierarchy. "Well," I said, trying to steady my voice, "maybe your hierarchy is flawed." Her gaze sharpened. "That is a radical assertion." "So is crossing half the galaxy to ask a human to tell you what he thinks." For a moment, something like amusement flickered across her face. "You perceive me as beautiful," she said slowly. "Explain." "It's not just how you look." "Clarify." "You move like gravity bends around you. You think 10 steps ahead of everyone. And when you try to hide it, you're kind." Her pupils expanded slightly. "Kindness is not a valued trait among my people." Then they are missing out. The air shifted again. This time, I felt it too, a faint vibration beneath my feet. Her head tilted upward sharply. "They are here," she whispered. I followed her gaze. At first, I saw nothing. Then a subtle distortion in the sky, like heat rippling above asphalt. It moved. Slowly. Silently. "That's not a plane," I murmured. "No. How many?" "One primary command vessel. Several escort carriers. And they are here for you." "Yes." My stomach tightened. "You said they wouldn't attack." "They will not initiate planetary destruction," she corrected. "That's not reassuring." She looked back at me. "My brother commands a fleet." "Is he the understanding type?" "No." Another ripple crossed the sky, closer this time. "What happens if you go with them?" I asked. "I will be returned to Virilia Prime for judgment." "And that means memory extraction, genetic purification, possible execution." The words felt unreal. "You cross space for me and you might die for it." "I cross space for truth." Her gaze held mine steadily. I needed to know if what I felt was reciprocated. "And now you know." "Yes." A faint hum vibrated through the air. Not loud, just low enough to feel in my bones. A thin beam of pale light descended from the distortion above, stopping a few feet from us. I stepped instinctively in front of her. "That is unnecessary," she said gently. "Humor me." The beam solidified, forming a translucent figure within it. Tall, broad-shouldered, his features sharper than hers, his bioluminescence colder. "Princess Ilthera," the projection said. "You will return immediately." Her posture straightened, royal composure snapping into place. "Commander Kael'therin," she replied evenly. So this was her brother. His eyes shifted to me. "Identify the human." I swallowed. "Name's not important." "It is," he said flatly, "for archival purposes." "He is not a contaminant," Ilthera said firmly. "He is the source of deviation." "Deviation?" I snapped. "I'm standing right here." Kael'therin's gaze didn't waver. "You have influenced a royal heir to violate Dominion law." "She made her own choices," I said. "Silence," he commanded. The word carried a pressure that made my knees buckle slightly. Ilthera stepped forward. "You will not exert dominance protocols here," she said sharply. The projection flickered faintly. "You are compromised," Kael'therin said. "I'm enlightened." "You are infatuated with Primitive. Do not reduce him to a classification." The hum in the air intensified. "You will return," Kael'therin repeated. "No." The single word echoed across the rooftop. Even I felt the weight of it. Ilthera reached for my hand. Her skin was warm, steady. "I will not abandon this connection," she continued. "Not when it has revealed flaws within our doctrine. Doctrine preserves survival. Doctrine suppresses evolution." The projection's glow brightened, agitated. "You would endanger our civilization for an emotional experiment." "It is not an experiment," she said quietly. Kael'therin's gaze shifted to me again. "Human," he said, "do you comprehend the magnitude of what she risks?" "Yes." "Do you reciprocate her attachment?" My throat tightened. This was it, the moment where doubt could undo everything. I looked at her, at the faint hope she tried to hide behind royal composure. "I do," I said clearly. The air stilled. Kael'therin studied me as if dissecting my words. "You would stand beside her under consequence?" "Yes." "Even if consequence includes planetary isolation from galactic contact?" I hesitated for half a heartbeat, then nodded. "Yes." Ilthera's grip tightened around my hand. The projection flickered again, less stable now. "You leave me little option," Kael'therin said. The beam widened slightly, light intensifying. I braced for force. Instead, the light dimmed. "Very well," he said slowly. "We will not extract you tonight." Relief washed through me, brief and fragile. "You will, however, be summoned before the Sovereign Council," he continued. "Both of you." My stomach dropped. "Both?" "If he is a catalyst, he will be evaluated." Ilthera's eyes widened slightly. You would permit a human before the council. You demand evolution, Kael'thrin replied coldly. Prove it. The beam began to retract. You have one lunar cycle, he added. Prepare. Then he vanished. The sky distortion faded gradually until it looked like nothing more than ordinary darkness. The city sounds returned. Cars, wind, distant laughter, as if none of it had happened. I exhaled shakily. Did we just get invited to alien court? Yes. Is that survivable? For me, uncertain, she admitted. And for me, statistically unfavorable. I laughed nervously. Great. She turned to face me fully. You may withdraw, she said softly. This path is no longer theoretical. You think I didn't mean it. I think you did not anticipate scale. She wasn't wrong, but scale didn't change truth. I told you what I really thought. I said quietly, I think you're extraordinary. I think you're brave. I think you deserve more than rigid laws. And I think I don't want to imagine my life going back to normal without you in it. Her bioluminescence pulsed again, brighter than before. Your species bonds quickly, she murmured. Yeah, we do. She stepped closer and placed her palm against my chest. Over my heart. I do not wish to return without you, she said. The simplicity of that hit harder than all the cosmic politics. Then don't, I whispered. The night air wrapped around us, no longer heavy but alive. Above us, far beyond sight, a fleet held position, not attacking, not retreating, waiting. We will face them together, she said. Together, I agreed. She leaned forward slightly, her forehead touching mine. Warmth spread through me. Not heat, not electricity. Something steadier. Like alignment. You have altered my trajectory, she whispered. You altered mine first. A faint smile curved her lips. For the record, she said, voice softening in a way that no royal transcript would ever capture, you are the most compelling human I have ever encountered. I smirked slightly. How many humans have you encountered? You are the only one in physical proximity. Then I'll take the win. She laughed, quiet but genuine. The stars above seemed stable again, not flickering, not distorting, just present. For now, we stood there until the chill of early morning crept into the air. The city began to stir below us, unaware that its future had been debated in orbit. One lunar cycle, 30 days until we stood before an alien council that could erase me from existence. I should have been terrified. I was. But as Ylthra intertwined her fingers with mine and watched the first hint of dawn paint the horizon, fear felt secondary, because at night, under a sky that had almost broken open, I told the alien princess what I really thought. And she chose not to leave. Whatever waited beyond Earth's atmosphere, judgment, exile, or something stranger, we would face it together. The sun rose slowly, washing silver light from her skin until she looked almost human. Almost. She looked at me one last time before the daylight fully claimed the sky. This is where evolution begins, she said softly. Not with fleets, not with war, but with honesty. And for the first time since she stepped into my life, I understood that the most dangerous act in the universe wasn't rebellion. It was telling the truth.